Everybody knows there's not a better time of year. Hear that sleigh, Santa's on his way. He'll parade for Christmas vacation. Got a ton of stuff to celebrate.
Good evening, fellas. Time for that all-important trip to the Gffl podcast. This will probably be my last one for the year. After this week, it gets crazy at work with all the year-end stuff that I'm doing. So, anyhow, just wanted to do the last one this year. We have 2 men left. 2 men are left in the thing. So, only 2 left standing. We'll find out who the winner is going to be. It could be interesting. We'll see. I believe I heard Wade yelling this the other day.
Nobody's leaving. Nobody's walking out on this fun old-fashioned family Christmas. No, we're all in this together. This is a full-blown 4-alarm holiday emergency here. We're going to press on, and we're going to have the happiest Christmas since Bing Crosby tap danced with Danny fucking Kaye. And when Santa squeezes his fat white ass down that chimney tonight, he's going to find the jolliest bunch of assholes this side of the nut house.
Yep. Oh, Wade had a rough one. We'll get into that this week, too. So, as we know, last week, a lot was going on in the league. Certain things were getting discussed, and what was going to happen with the championship, who was going to win, who was going to be the winner. So, we'll go through the best of the worst bracket. For those of us who didn't make the playoffs, I asked for every owner just to put a lineup in just to have some fun. And so last week, of course, Chris, who had the best record of the worst, he came out a winner, 103.65 over Kurz. I, of course, got shellacked by Tony. Wasn't fun, but it's what it was. So either way, I finished dead last as per usual. Tony finishes in 9th. Kurz is in 8th. Chris is in 7th. So, on to the games of the week. We'll go to Greg and Dennis first, the battle of number 2 versus number 6. If there was a Cinderella story in our league this year, it was certainly Greg, and with his matchups and what he was playing, how he was doing. If we look across the board, Greg got lucky in a lot of aspects. He stuck with Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton was going up against Johnny Manziel, who I can't stand, and I'm glad the Bengals players did what they did to him. You know, kid hasn't earned shit, but yeah, he thinks he's all that in a box of chips. So, Andy Dalton only got him 2 points. Justin Forsett got him 3. But out of nowhere came Jeremiah Hill with 26 points. Demaryius Thomas with 15. Emmanuel Sanders with 4. A.J. Green only got him 2, was 1 yard shy, getting 3 more. But his kicker, Dan Carpenter, got him 14 points, which was huge. And his defensive with the Patriots D got him 14 points as well. That gave Greg a total score of 80, which was huge. For Rickman, Andrew Luck didn't have a great game, still put up double digits, 14 points. Remember last week, if you rewind last week's podcast, I did mention about being homers and how that can come back and bite you. LaShawn McCoy, 6 points. Heron, only 5. Alshon Jeffries had a chance to bring it back for Rickman on Monday night, but couldn't do it, but did muster 11 points for Rickman. T.Y. Hilton, only 50 yards, 5 total points. Didn't see the end zone. Calvin Benjamin as well, 104, didn't see the end zone, but ended up with 10 points. Sturgis, 8 points. And the Cardinals D, 6. What killed Rickman is that he only had 3 guys in double figures versus Greg's 4. Greg's defense and kicker saved him because of how bad Dalton played. So, a couple of things for Greg. He's going to think about going into this week. Does he play Ryan Tannehill over Andy Dalton? We'll see. For Rickman, he's out, but there is a second place game or consolation matchup between the 2 owners. It's up to Rickman if he wants to jump in on that. But that one right there was a great game. I kind of kept track of that one all night. Very interesting. As for Brad and Wade, this one had drama all over it. I mentioned last week how I thought Aaron Rodgers was due to have a bad game, and sure enough, he did. He only threw for 185 yards and 6 touchdowns. However, if this guy here catches this ball, he goes for 90-some yards. That ball turns into a 20-plus point play all around for Wade. It puts Rodgers gets the extra bonus 4 plus the bonus 3, makes it 7, plus gets him over another hurdle, which gives him about somewhere in the 2 range. Changes the complexity of the game as well, and that may have hurt Wade all around. LeGarrette Blount, 6 points. DeMarco Murray does what DeMarco Murray does, 21 points. Anquan Bolden, terrible, 1 point. Jordy Nelson, 55 points. He catches a 95-yarder. He gets the 3 for that, which gives him another 8, plus the yardage gets him another 3. 11 plus the touchdown gives him 6. We give him 17. What's he end up with? 5. So a big swing there. Randall Cobb, 9 points, 111 yards, but couldn't find the end zone. Gostkowski had 11. Eagles defense 5, giving Wade a total of 65. He made a late charge on Sunday night to make it very interesting. I thought Wade may pull it out, but it didn't happen. As for Brad made a call late in the day on Sunday and went with Phillip Rivers over Matt Stafford, who he's kind of stuck with the whole year. Great call on Brad's part. Rivers outscores Stafford by 4 points, making it 14 versus 10. Matt Forte didn't really need him on Monday night, but he still got him 6 points, which was good. Arian Foster, 11, has been a great pickup for Brad. Roddy White, you're welcome, 12 points. Calvin Johnson, 53 and 5, didn't see the end zone. Jamarcus Landry got him 7. Costanzo, 13 points out of his kicker, which is huge. And then the Seahawks defense, which was huge against San Francisco, 6. Brad ends up with 74 points over Wade, 65, 74-65. So you have, ironically enough, you have Brad, who's the redheaded guy, and then you have Greg, who's got the beard of Kris Kringle. So I think either one there. Brad may have a decision to make at running back. Mark Ingram was playing well. He may make a move there. We'll see. So you have Brad, Greg, and your GFFL final. Let's take a look at that matchup this week and see what the experts have it as. Right now, the experts, they're projecting a 92-85 final. They think Brad will be out the gate fast and furious, and then Greg will end up coming back late in that week. So if we look at our matchups, Andy Dalton, they're going to take on Cincinnati. This is where Greg's going to have to make a tough decision. Do you take Dalton against Cincinnati or against Denver, or do you take Tannehill against Minnesota? I think it's going to be a tough call for Greg. I like Tannehill over Dalton, but it's going to be up to Greg to decide what he wants to do. Brad, he's got Matt Stafford playing the Bears, which is a must-win for them if they want to hang on to the division. So, or Phillip Rivers against the Niners. That's a horse apiece there, but I think the Bears secondary is suspect, and I don't like their defensive line, so I would take Stafford here. At running back, Justin Forsett and Jamar Hill, I think for Greg is the best matchup this week. Reggie Bush, Ray Rice has still got him, but he ain't playing. Lamar Miller, hard to see. I like Lamar Miller a lot, but I don't think he's going to be as good as Jamil Hill and Justin Forsett this week. So I like the running backs there. For Brad, this is where Brad is, I think, the far better owner this week on running backs is Matt Forte and Arian Foster, I think, are much better running backs than Forsett and Hill. However, they're projecting about a 5-point difference in those two there. So I like Brad's running backs this week over Greg's, but points-wise, it's about a 1.5, 2-point difference between the two. As for wide receivers, Demarius Thomas for Greg, Emmanuel Sanders, and A.J. Green. Those three receivers can have huge games for Greg. I like a lot of what's going on with the receivers there, and all of them have explosive capabilities. Versus Brad's team, he's really only got one guy that's explosive, and that would be Calvin Johnson. But they're saying Calvin Johnson is not well. He's probable with an ankle injury, so it kind of limits him on the deep pass possibility. Roddy White's been huge for Atlanta, particularly if Julio Jones is out again. I definitely stick with Roddy White here and Jamarcus Landry. Really, Brad doesn't have any other choice because I wouldn't start Wes Welker because he's not been what he usually is this year. Eddie Royale with Cheese, not really. And then Randall, with the Giants are just terrible. I can't say anymore. So, as for the kickers, it doesn't matter. Dan Carpenter versus Costanzo. Costanzo's taking on Seattle. That game will be very interesting. I think that's the game of the week to watch. It's on Sunday night. I like that game a lot. Buffalo is at Oakland. I think they're on a high. Oakland just wait. I don't know why you root for this team. You should stop. It'll save you a lot of drama in your household. But I like Dan Carpenter this week. As for the Patriots, I like the Patriots and the Seahawks defense. I like the Patriots a little bit better against the Jets because, well, they're the fucking Jets. They're terrible. And so I like them a lot more over the Seahawks. So really, I like Greg's team a lot this week versus Brad. I think I like his matchups better than I do Brad's. But Brad has a couple guys that can blow up at any moment. So we'll see, particularly if Stafford and Johnson match up. So, like I said, I'll take Greg in this one. I take Greg. In my opinion, Greg's about a 5-point favorite. They have him a 7-point favorite on Flea Flicker. But I like Greg to win it all. And he is the Cinderella story. So, a man from nowhere. So, I like Greg a lot this week. So, I'd certainly take him. And as we look around the rest of the league, a couple of things to think about going into next year. I'd like to see us maybe, if we can somehow go with 2 receivers and a flex player next year. I think that would make the league a flex, meaning it could either be a wide receiver, running back, or tight end, one of those 3. I think it would make it a little bit interesting draft night. It would make it, as owners, where we have to make some better choices with who we keep and drop and all that. So I think it would be interesting. Plus, I think there would be more trades to flow because guys wouldn't be afraid to give up maybe a running back because they're kind of deep in one area, give up a receiver because you're deep because of that. So a couple of things to think about. Since this is my last one, I did ask you guys to send me some photos. Some of you were kind enough to. Some of you did not. Those of you that did not, if I could find pictures of you online, you're going to hate me in the morning, but I did find some of it, so you'll take that as well. A couple of the other things to look at for this week is Christmas. If you guys want to get me something for Christmas, I have an Amazon wish list out there. I'll have to find a link, but other than that, I hope most of you all have a good Christmas. But before I go...
But make sure that the wife wants it more than you.
Yeah, if my wife wants it more than her, then that's who it should go to.
Exactly.
And then before I take off, one of our old friends wants to pop in and say something to us. Hang on just a second. Man, what's this Christmas stuff? Don't y'all remember Kwanzaa? Man, Kwanzaa? That's alright. I got all my shopping done, man. I went to Ferguson when they had them riots, man. I was raiding the store left and right, man. Get my stocking full of stuff. So, I hope you all have a good Christmas or whatever you crackers have and whatever. And remember to always be real. What you talking about, Roland? Hey, Katie and I want to say, hey, Merry Christmas to you all. I got a little photo montage of stuff to put together, so I hope you guys enjoy it. But have a safe, enjoyable Christmas. You can hear my dog in the background. So everybody be safe, have a happy New Year, and we'll see you in the New Year.
Christmas night, tears are crying. Got all kinds of poison. Took my feet to the street. Just walk away, those windows say, but I can't believe she's gone. When you're still waiting for the snow to fall, doesn't really feel like Christmas at all.
He is the ultimate bub.
Still waiting for the snow to fall. Doesn't really feel like Christmas at all. Still waiting for the snow to fall. Doesn't really feel like Christmas at all.